Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth, and this program is provided in conjunction with funding through the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way. This is a recorded program. If you do not wish to be included in the recording, please mute your mic and keep your video turned off. And today, we are doing the 1970s version of The Price is Right. Brooke, let's get our game started.
Thank you, Gail. So we're going to be doing the 1970 version of The Price is Right. Gail, you were with us last time when we did the 1950s, so you might see some similar themes in a couple of different things. Steve, we did the 1950s a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully Gail doesn't kind of know some trends and stuff and be able to win, but I think that it'll be a fun game. So the rules of the game is to guess how much the item that we're sharing would have cost in the 1970s. If you're the closest guess, trying to not go over the price, you'll get a point, and then the player with the most points at the end of the game is the winner. And then we have a few different fun facts that I found from the 1970s at the very end of the slideshow. So we'll go over those and get to kind of see some things after that. So the first thing that we had this gallon of milk. I had this one in the 1950s as well, and I put this little fun fact. So in the 1950s, the first game we played, the gallon cost 82 cents. So in the 50s, it cost 82 cents whenever we played 2 weeks ago. How much do y'all think it cost in the 70s?
$1.25.
$1.25. Gail, what do you think?
You stole my guess. That's
you can outbid them by a penny or underguess them by a penny.
I'm going to say $1.23.
$1.23. Let's see. So the actual cost was $1.15. So Gail, you were the closest one with that. Maybe next time we'll let Gail bid first so that Steve, you can either outbid her by a penny or underbid her by a penny too. So that was $1.15. So today, an average cost for a gallon of milk is around $3.42. And a fun fact is a cow produces about 6.3 gallons of milk daily. That is a lot of milk in my opinion. I don't imagine how they produce that much, but 6.3 gallons of milk daily. All right, so the next one is a lava lamp. So just kind of a basic lava lamp. Gail, I'll let you bid first. How much do you think a lava lamp cost in the 1970s?
I'm going to say $12.
$12. Steve, how much do you think a lava lamp cost in the 1970s?
$12.50.
15?
$12.50.
$12.50. Okay. $12.50. Now, did either one of y'all ever have lava lamps?
No.
Not back then. My son had one as an adolescent.
Yep.
That he found somewhere.
Yeah, they're still fairly popular, I would say. So the average price of a lava lamp was $19.95. So Steve, you got that one. So a fun fact, sales of lava lamps slumped in the late 1970s, but it experienced a resurgence in popularity in the 90s after the Austin Powers movie was released. The most expensive lava lamp ever sold was $15,000.
Wow. I
hope that thing is a very, very big lava lamp and maybe has some gold to it because that's an expensive lava lamp. But $15,000, that's the most expensive one. Alrighty. So this picture is not very good, but what this is a beanbag chair. So, Gail, you guessed first last time. So Steve, do you want to guess first this time about how much a beanbag chair cost in the 1970s?
$17.
$17. Gail, what's your guess?
$22.50.
$22.50. Now, what I just realized, y'all, is that I have 10 different items in here, and y'all are going, one of you won so far and the other one of you won so far. I should have put 11 in there so that if we accidentally get to a tie at the end, we could have at least had a tiebreaker, but I didn't think about that far ahead. All right, so Gail, your guess was $22.50, and Steve, your guess was $17. The beanbag chair cost $34.88. So the first beanbag chair was designed by an Italian furniture company and is still sold today. It was classed as the first shapeless chair and was named the Sacco. So I heard that it's really good because it molds to your body, you know, as far as how the beanbag chair helps you out. And I know that they make, you know, like the little beanbag things for your neck and stuff too whenever you're on planes and everything like that. But
So I have a funny story about the beanbag chair.
did you have one explode?
No. When my sister was in junior high school, my parents got her a beanbag chair for her birthday.
Okay.
I had a younger sister who's like 7 years younger than me. So she was just a little tyke.
Mm-hmm.
And she accidentally spilled the beans, meaning she told what the gift was before my sister got to open it. And my mother was upset with her that she didn't keep the secret of what the present was. And
Was the other sister super excited though still to get her beanbag chair?
Yes, and it was orange and yellow, of course, because it was the 70s, so it was orange and yellow pattern. I think it was kind of a patchwork type print.
Oh, okay.
But it was orange and yellow.
I wouldn't even want to know what kind of mess would happen if one of them accidentally popped or the seam came unstitched or anything like that. I know it'd probably be like a flurry in whatever room that it happens in. But all righty. So our next item, okay, this is kind of a different game. If y'all ever like played The Price is Right, sometimes they do a scramble. Gail, last time in our 1950s version, the car that I had on here, you actually have in your garage. So do you have this car in your garage too?
No, I do not.
Okay. So what we're going to do, I have, it's guess the correct order of the numbers for the Chevy Camaro Z28 1978. So over here on the right-hand side, I have the number 6623. Now these are scrambled up, or they may or may not be scrambled up. So I want you to unscramble or give me the guess of what you think the actual price is with the numbers that I have right here. Gail, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm going to say 3662.
3662. All righty. Steve, do you have a guess?
3266.
3266. All righty. So the actual price is $6,326. So Gail, I guess you were the closest in actual winnings, but you know what? So if I don't count anything for this one, since neither one of y'all got the actual price right, then that'll leave us with 9, and then that can kind of be our tie buster at the end, so we won't accidentally end up with a tie. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe this one, and I'm gonna not count it. But
so my guess was
3,662.
And Steve's was
3,266. Yours was closer, but not the right number still.
No, neither one of us said it was going to cost $6,000.
Nope. So the first Camaro was born on September 29th, 1966. Pre-production, GM considered producing a station wagon version of the Camaro, and GM called the Camaro the Panther while in development. In fact, the Camaro was still very close to being called the Panther whenever it was released. And I actually thought I saw a station wagon version whenever I was looking up pictures of the Camaro. So I don't know if that was just like a prototype that they came out with, but I can't even imagine a Camaro in a station wagon version of it. So
and the first Camaros don't look like the picture that's on the screen.
Yep. So this one was a 1978 version.
Right. The first ones were very short and compact.
Okay.
They were about the size of a Mustang. original Mustang.
Yeah. Was it still a really pretty car?
Yeah, it was. It looked a little bit, I say, kind of chopped off in the back compared to the Mustang.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I've never had a Camaro, but somebody in my family has. But it's a fun car to ride in, and they're still very popular today. I think. Oh gosh, with the new movies where Gail, do you know what I'm talking about? The movie where it transforms into Bumblebee. It's called Transformers. That's what it is. Transformers is
I haven't seen
newer
those
movies, and so I think that those still kind of make the Camaros pretty popular. I mean, obviously they're nice cars, but yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen those movies.
All righty. So this is an Atari video system. So it's a game system that was back in the 1970s. It's one of the first, I believe it's one of the first, it might be my fun facts on the next slide, one of the first video gaming systems around. Steve, do you want to guess first?
250.
250?
Yep.
Okay, Gail, what's your guess?
195.
195. All right. Oh, 199. Gail, you were the closest. All righty. So fun fact, in 1977, Atari released the Atari 2600, also known as the video computer system, a home console that featured joysticks and interchangeable game cartridges that played multicolored games, effectively kicking off the second generation of the video game consoles. Today, video games make up $100 billion of global industry, and nearly 2/3 of American homes have household members who play video games regularly. I don't have any video game systems in my house, but I know that if my parents were around, they have some, or my parents have some down where they live in Victoria. My sisters have a couple of video game consoles, and even my stepdad, he plays some video game consoles and stuff like that on there, so they have a couple of different ones. But the gaming world is definitely booming, and especially on people's phones. Even people play different games and things on their phones too, so it's definitely evolved in the days. I'm sure you'll probably bought a different video game systems for maybe your kids and stuff too, huh?
We actually never bought any gaming systems for our kids. My son, I think, did get one like secondhand.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes they played it at friends' house and with
Gotcha.
youth group events.
Gotcha. Well, $199. That's that one. All right. The next one. Ooh, sorry, this is a bad picture of C2. I apologize about that. So this is an Easy Bake Oven. Another little item. So an Easy Bake Oven where you can cook, some small little items. I know some little girls probably really liked this whenever they got it for Christmas or for birthdays and things like that. How much do y'all think?
I always wanted one of those, but I never had one.
I don't think I ever had one either, but I think my friends did whenever I would, convince them to let me cook with them in their Easy Bake Oven. So, Gail, do you want to guess first on this one? How much do you think the Easy Bake Oven cost in the 1970s?
$15.95.
$15.95. Steve, how much do you think the Easy Bake Oven cost?
$22.30.
$22.30. I appreciate y'all's really specific guess. All righty. So it actually costs $10.99. So both of y'all over guessed on that one. But Gail, you were the closest on that one.
But look at what your facts. Read your facts. The original version more expensive, and it was $15.95.
So I read on that one. I think they started using cheaper materials, so they were able to down the cost on it. But yeah, so today's version of the toy can be purchased at major retailers or online for $45. But the original was built at a much more expensive version was much more expensive. In fact, $15.95. This might not sound like a lot, but adjusting the inflation, it amounts to $127 nowadays. Despite the price, Easy Bake Oven sold 500,000 units in the first year on market. So lots and lots of units of that, which, like I said, Gail, I never had one either, but they're still pretty popular today, I would think, you know, with everything. So, alrighty, next one. So this is a 25-inch diagonal screen, 315 square inches. There's none bigger. This is the ad that came along with the picture when I found it. Notice the cinema screen shape. It's more like a movie screen. That's the way TV broadcasts originate. And now our color picture tube gives you over 100% brighter pictures. It's more vivid, more live than ever. Now, I will tell y'all that there are two things that I got whenever I found the price on this. You can do with the remote or without the remote. And they put the price difference on there, with the remote or without the remote. So why don't y'all guess your price, and you can either guess with or without, but then tell me if your price is with the remote or without the remote.
$475 with.
$475 with. Gail, what do you think?
$375 with.
$375 with. Okay, so y'all both guessed with the remote. Let's see what we got. So it cost $739 with the remote and $639, I'm sorry, without the remote. So Steve, you were closer in that price. I was actually really surprised, you know, because ever since, you know, I've obviously bought TVs, they've always come with remotes. So, and I know that TVs didn't have remotes, but I guess I didn't ever think of that you had the option to buy it with or without the remote. I guess if you wanted your kids to be the remote, you could save a little bit of money and purchase it without it. So, fun fact, the first national TV broadcast in color was in 1954 Tournament of Roses parade, but most programming was black and white until 1965. Sales of the color TV surpassed black and white sets for the first time in 1972. So in the 1970s was the first time that happened. So, yep. Did y'all have remotes in the 1970s with y'all's TV, or were y'all doing the manual remote changes? It's probably more popular to do it manually, huh?
Is the finger remote.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can see the dials on the side of them still too. So yeah, I always thought it was fun to read the description in there as well. You know how they describe it. I think whenever we did the 1950s version, the newer and bigger than ever was a 24-inch, you know, screen TV. So probably just as big as my hands are wide right here. That was the biggest one that they had, I think, if I remember correctly. So I thought that was interesting. All righty. So this next one, we put a hair dryer in the first one, and I thought I would stay with the theme and see the hair dryer. So this is one that covers your head. So here's the description of it. Pretty impractical featherweight dryers hang on a strap around your waist or over your shoulder like a purse. You can roam about, do chores while your hair dries. Have a long 7-foot cord, a roomy hood, and it is made of high impact plastic in a vinyl carrying case. The dryer is 250 watts and has a 5-position temperature control. So, Steve, you probably bought a lot of hair dryers in your day, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but those girls had to have them.
I've never seen a hair dryer like this. Did y'all have hair dryers like this? Or these are probably like the high-end ones, or maybe ones that were like a dud in the market. I'm not quite sure. It's probably either or, but.
I've never had one like that.
Did you see one like that, or do you think this was one that was a dud?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing one like that.
I've seen pictures, but not.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
In the 70s, typically my mother or my grandmother rolled our hair on Saturday night, so it would be curled for Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Because we didn't have a dryer.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
About
so how much do you?
But the only place you'd ever see one of these would be in a thrift shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So how much do y'all guess? What is y'all's guess for this hair dryer?
Steve, you want to guess first?
I have no idea, so go ahead.
I'm going to say $26.50.
$26.50. All right, Steve, you can slightly overguess her or slightly underguess her and see if you think if you can outbeat her.
$26.49.
It's $26.49. He got you by a penny, Gail. Let's see what the actual price is. $16.88. So, Steve, you were closer in that one, but still over. But 2 weeks ago, I put last week on here, but 2 weeks ago, whenever we did the hair dryer, it was, you know, a handheld hair dryer, but that cost was $5.95. So over, you know, 20 years, it looked like it went up 3 times as much almost. So,
I
all
would
right.
imagine that one, the price was also impacted by the carrying case.
I'm sure, yeah.
And the fact that you could move around with it and not have to be sitting down.
Sure, I imagine. All righty. So this is a dishwasher. Last time we had that combo washer and dryer. This time I decided our utility could be a dishwasher. So it was a 2-level wash action, forced air drying, can help eliminate spotting, controls normal wash, water, mister, power. Oh, I don't know all these words. Power mister, I don't know what that is. Pot and pan.
Miser.
Okay, there you go.
Oh.
Dial control for light wash and plate warm. White porcelain, enameled steel tub interior and door liner. 2 vinyl coated rectangular racks, stainless steel pulverized blade, 2 detergent cups. Color comes in white, coffee, avocado, golden, wheat, or almond. So how much do y'all think this dishwasher would cost in the 1970s?
$185.
$185, okay. Gail, what's your guess?
I'm going to say $275.
$275, all righty. So the actual price was $279.95. So you were really close, Gail.
But I went over, so technically Steve wins that one.
No, you said $275, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
$4 under. So really close. Fun fact, so while invented in 1887, it wasn't until 1950 that the dishwasher was sold to the general public. The first reliable hand-powered dishwasher was invented by Josephine in 1887. Cochrane who never washed dishes herself, apparently invented the dishwasher because her servants were constantly chipping her fine china. And I guess she just couldn't have that, so she wanted a solution to it. So $279.95. That is the dishwasher.
My grandmother had a dishwasher. This was probably in the 70s, early 80s, that had a hose, and it was portable, and you rolled it out and rolled it over to the kitchen sink and hooked it up to the kitchen sink faucet.
Oh, I've seen stuff like that. Yeah.
And I'm a group of 4 sisters, and my dad used to always say we didn't need a dishwasher because he already had 4.
There you go.
Because we kept trying to get him to get one, and that's what he would say.
Where did your grandma store it? Did she still store her dishwasher in the kitchen, or did she store it somewhere else and then just roll it into the kitchen?
It was in the kitchen, and she used it for counter space. But when to use it, you had to roll it over close to the sink.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I actually just had to get a new dishwasher in my apartment because the old one was, it wasn't even old, but it wasn't working. So it was a new dishwasher for me. But,
That's why they had the wood countertops on the top of those.
Right.
They were countertops. They weren't built in like they are today.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're more like recessed like a stove.
Yeah.
into it.
That makes a lot of sense. I was kind of curious about that wood, but now that makes more sense. All righty. Now this one is a price range, but I thought that this was cute. So Raggedy Ann and Andy, they had some different dolls. And, I think if y'all get in the price range, y'all are winners, but it depended on the size of the doll that you bought. It looked like from the things that I saw, it looked like you could buy, like a normal size doll, or you can buy one of those life-size gigantic dolls. But Raggedy Ann and Andy doll, what do y'all think, kind of guessing in that price range? What do y'all think a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll cost?
Whose turn is it to go first?
I think it's your turn, Gail, to go first. I think Steve went first on the dishwasher.
Okay, I'm going to say, and is this the price for a pair or one doll?
I hope it's the price for a pair.
Okay.
Let's say it's a pair.
Okay. I'm going to say $11.95.
$11.95. Steve, what's your guess?
$11.94.
$11.94. All righty. So we range from, y'all are both in the price range. It ranged from $4.27 to $19.97. So like I said, just based off of the size of the doll. So I think y'all are both winners on that one. So I had to dig in a little bit about this. So one day in 1915, as the story goes, Johnny Gruel's daughter, Marcella, brought home an old rag doll. He drew a face on the doll, on the worn fabric, and called the doll Raggedy Ann. Gruel, a cartoonist and illustrator, wrote a children's book about Raggedy Ann in 1918. So that is the Raggedy Ann and Andy. What's interesting is I have, seen the Raggedy Ann dolls all my life. My nursery was Raggedy Ann themed when I was little. And then my niece actually dressed up as Raggedy Ann for Halloween on her first, she just turned a year. So she was right under a year. She dressed up on Halloween as Raggedy Ann this past year. And I did not know that Raggedy Ann was a children's book. So I was a little enlightened by that. So I was surprised. More you know, I guess.
I think it's interesting that for the most part, they've stayed the same.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the very beginning, I'm sure that first one didn't really look like these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Those pictures are very familiar. New. And the size to the one that we had when my daughter was little.
Yeah. So what's the Raggedy Ann children's book about? Do you know, Gail? I'm sure.
I don't think I've read it either.
Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe it was just the old one that they had, back then. And I guess maybe the book created the dolls a little bit.
It's no longer published or something. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I believe that was our last one. Y'all were both in the price range for that one, but counting it up, it looks like since we didn't count the car one, it still looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Looks like Gail, you edged it out with 5 guesses right, and you were closer on the car, but that wasn't right. So y'all were a tight competition on each other. Steve, you got 4 right, and Gail, you got 5 right, if we didn't count the car one. So y'all were a tight competition. That was fun. All right, so I do have some fun facts about the 1970s. I have to keep on moving y'all's faces to different sides of the computer so that I can read what I wrote. So fun facts about the 1970s. In 1971, the U.S. voting age is lowered from 21 to 18 years old. When the 26th Amendment is ratified. So I'm sure that the people who were turning 18 then enjoyed that because they were allowed to vote then finally. Didn't have to wait the extra 3 years for that. But, now I can't see the year. You see, I have to keep on moving y'all's faces. In 1973, Secretariat wins the Triple Crown in horse racing. And there's actually a movie today about Secretariat. So that's a pretty good movie. I'm sure that was fun to watch back then, him winning. I've never been to any horse races. I've been around horses all my life. I used to rodeo and ride horses, but I've never been to a horse track like that or anything. Have either of y'all?
I haven't.
Not mostly has been trotters.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. In 1974, U.S. President Richard Nixon resigns from office after being implicated in the Watergate scandal. I think that's something we're probably all pretty familiar with. Nixon. And then in 1975, the movie Jaws opens in theaters and is considered to be one of the very first blockbuster films. And they actually, I believe, recreated Jaws recently within the last year or two, I want to say. I haven't seen it, but I believe they redid it and had it come out. Did you see it, Steve? I saw you shaking your head.
I've not seen it, but I've seen the ads for it.
Gotcha. Or maybe it hasn't come out yet then. I'm not sure. But all righty. And in 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created the Apple computer. Now, I thought that this was a joke whenever I pulled up this computer. I thought that this was actually the real one. This was actually the real Apple computer.
It is, yes.
Now, was this what it was like produced, or was this like their personal one? Do you know, Steve?
That was one of the first ones they produced.
Oh, okay.
Because their computer did not have a monitor.
Okay.
At all. And they built it with a wooden case to start with. It wasn't until they actually got a little bit long, sold a few more, they were able to develop and get the plastic cases. They made
Gotcha.
So if it didn't have a monitor, what did it do?
It connected to a TV.
It connected to a TV.
TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had never seen pictures of this model, and I was like, oh my gosh, that can't be real. And then I started Googling and started trying to find other pictures, and that's what kept on popping up. So I was like, okay, it must be it. So I was hoping, but I'm glad that you've seen it before then, Steve, so that you can verify with me that that's what they actually look like. And I think why I also didn't necessarily know is because the logo on it kind of looked a little bit different and stuff too, the way that they described it in. I'm sure that they probably had to hand do all of that. So yeah.
So Steve, do you know what those L brackets are on top of it? Do you know what those are for?
I think originally the couple of them were to mount a small monitor onto it if you had it.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is the power supply.
Oh.
It did not have an internal power supply.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It was like one of those cords with the power box.
Right, yes.
Plug in.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Gotcha. All righty. And in
Everything had those.
1979, the Walkman was introduced by Sony. So I know that this was probably pretty popular come the 80s and stuff then too for the Walkman. But I think that was our last fun fact about the 1970s that I had for today. So that was a lot of fun though. Thanks for guessing and playing with us.
Sony also developed the first transistor radio.
Oh.
Yes, and
you have more fun facts than I do then. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Every boy used to have one of those, right?
That's right. Right,
Was it more of a boy thing than a girl thing then, Gail?
I don't know. I think it was past, but I know my husband had them.
Gotcha.
Growing up.
I remember in, I think it was in middle school, our teacher allowed us to have it in our classroom to listen to the World Series, as long as we did. Anyway.
As long as you did your work, you could listen to the World Series.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And update the scores.
And what year was that?
My middle school teacher, our teacher.
So do you know who was playing in the World Series that year?
I have no idea. No idea at all. Hold on a second, folks. I've got somebody here I want to talk to for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. That was great, Brooke.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I had lots of fun. That was fun.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a great presentation and helping us to think back to what things look like and what things cost in the 1970s.
There you go. Thank you, Gail. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.